Tune into ESG Matters with Risk Insights, where we explore ESG with impact. Hey everyone, and welcome back to ESG Matters with Risk Insights. I'm your host, Anushka Bogdanov. Happy New Year, and may 2026 be a year of peace and reconciliation. We have been fatigued on ESG, sustainability, geopolitics, wars, pedophilia, drug cartels, and invasions. So I thought, why not share one of my holiday book readings with you to reflect on gratitude, lineage, and the ethics of inheritance. This book, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, sits on my desk and was a gift from my daughter Shari. Marcus Aurelius never intended these words to be read by anyone else. They were private reflections written during war, uncertainty, and immense responsibility. And yet, 2,000 years later, they feel uncomfortably relevant. Let me walk you through Book 1 of Meditations, which is made up of 12 books to reflect on what Stoic philosophy teaches us about leadership, ethics, sustainability, and institutional responsibility in today's world. This segment is meant to prepare and assist leadership. Book 1 is not about power, strategy, or control, but about gratitude. It is also different from the rest of the text. Marcus Aurelius does not lecture. He does not analyze. He gives thanks. He lists the people who shaped him, his teachers, family members, mentors, and acknowledges what he learned from each: patience, discipline, humility, and fairness. This matters because Stoicism is often misunderstood as emotional detachment. In reality, it begins with recognition. The recognition that who we are is never self-made. Marcus understood something critical. Character is inherited before it is chosen. We do not arrive at leadership as blank slates. We carry values, habits, and moral frameworks passed down to us either consciously or unconsciously. Gratitude in Stoicism is not sentimentality. It is moral clarity. When we look at the world today, geopolitics, climate change, institutional distrust, and ESG backlash, one pattern is clear. Leadership has become reactive, short-term, and defensive. We talk endlessly about quarterly results, regulatory compliance, and reputational risk, but we rarely ask one fundamental question: what values did we inherit, and what are we passing on? ESG at its core is not about reporting frameworks or scores. It's about intergenerational ethics. Climate risk is inherited risk. Social inequality is inherited fragility. Weak governance is inherited instability. Book 1 reminds us that leadership is not ownership. It is custodianship. This is where Book 1 aligns powerfully with modern governance. At the heart of credible leadership today is ethics, responsibility, and self-discipline. Leaders are stewards of culture, not controllers of outcomes. Book 1 is the philosophical root of this way of thinking. Ethical culture does not appear overnight. It is inherited, reinforced, or eroded over time. Boards do not create culture. They receive it, shape it, and pass it on. Organizations must disclose how sustainability risks are governed over time. Book 1 reminds us that long-term risk management requires moral continuity, not just technical competence. Climate governance fails when institutions forget they are temporary actors within a longer system. Fiduciary duty is often misunderstood as short-term financial loyalty. But increasingly, courts and regulators recognize that ignoring long-term environmental and social risk is a failure of care. Stoicism anticipated this centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius understood that duty flows forward, not inward. Receiving this book from Shari reminded me of something simple and profound. Leadership is not just about us. It is about the institutions we leave behind, the standards we normalize, and the risks we choose to confront or ignore. ESG is not ideology. It is the modern language of ethical inheritance. Marcus Aurelius begins Meditations not by asserting authority, but by acknowledging debt. Perhaps that is where all good governance should begin. In our next episode, we'll move to Book 2, where Marcus confronts chaos, uncertainty, and the limits of control, and what that teaches us about risk, resilience, and leadership under pressure. Before we close, a brief practical note. Risk Insights has launched its 2026 Carbon Risk Training Program, a 4-module course designed to support boards, executives, and practitioners in building credible, decision-useful climate and carbon capability from beginner to advanced level. If this is relevant to your organization or institution, you can find the link on this podcast to learn more and register. Thank you for listening. May this year be one of peace, reflection, and reconciliation. Remember, we don't own the future, we prepare it. And if you find this podcast can assist others, share it, and I look forward to our next time together. Ciao for now.